to the rappers that dissed Fantano after getting a bad review.
Each of these rappers picked
We
up...
gotta get on the hate train of Fantano. Before it leaves, we gotta get on the hate train of Fantano. That's all I'm saying, though. That's all I'm saying.
Fight with Anthony Fantano,
Jeez.
with Lil Xan's call-out being one of the more...
Oh, who's on here? Who's on here? I remember Logic. I think Logic said he want to kill that nigga in a song. I'm being so honest. I don't remember Drake. Oh, I remember Drake, actually. I remember Drake. I don't remember Young Lean saying anything. MGK saying anything. I don't remember Eminem saying anything. Lil Xan. I don't care. I don't remember. Post Malone, I don't remember. But I feel like Post Malone had to have been mad nice about it. Tyler probably said some raunchy ass shit. And whatever he said about, if this is Suicide Boys, whatever he said about Suicide Boys was valid. They are shitty. I'm sorry. They are the worst to come out of the SoundCloud era. I'm just being honest. They are the worst to come out of the SoundCloud era. So whatever he said about them was right.
No.
Why do niggas care about Fantano music opinion? I don't even think they do. I think it's just because like he's popular, and so like they're just trying to say like you're platforming hate. I think that, well, I'm not gonna say that for every artist, because some artists do care about what he says. Some artists do care about what he says and what he thinks about the album. But I think a good amount of them is just like, bro, you're just influencing hate towards my album, or like you're just flat out hating on it and you don't actually care about the music type shit. It is what it is. Niggas get sensitive about music because like they treat the music as in like, bro, music is a piece of the person. Unless it's like completely fake or fabricated or it's a story, it's a piece of the person. So you saying that the shit is ass is to them is attacking them, like attacking a piece of them. But hey, I'm not talking from an artist perspective. I mean the fans or anyone that watches him. Shit. As far as the fans, for me, it's just funny. I'm not gonna lie. It's funny to see what he's gonna say. If it's gonna be ridiculous. If it's not gonna be ridiculous, then like it's cool to hear out what he thinks about it and like what he likes about it. But if it comes from like a point of like him rating it low when it's really not low, it for me it's entertainment. Like that shit is just like, bro, you are out of your rabbit ass mind if you think this album is a 4 type shit.
Lil Xan's call out being one
like he did that with so many Drake albums, bro. He tried to give certain Drake albums like 5s, 4s, 6s, 2s. I'm like, bro, come on, bro. Talking out your ass.
The more aggressive. Back in 2018, he released his first studio album, Total Xanarchy.
But he says that though. He says you shouldn't take, my fault for pausing so much. He says you shouldn't take his like reviews serious to the point where you're getting up in arms and angry about it. Like he says you shouldn't take it serious. Like don't take him serious, even though he's giving a review that's like serious. Don't do it.
Which was universally reviewed as being pretty terrible. But no one was as harsh as Anthony Fantano, who began his review with a pretty brutal statement.
We're not even at the halfway point of the year yet, and this is one of the worst things I've heard all year.
Fantano proceeded to call Xan extremely stupid.
He sounds like he barely has a pulse half the time, and most of his songs don't really have much more than 10 words to their name, because I don't think he could commit more than 10 words to memory for a single track.
With the album's only decent segments being made by other people.
Really, the only thing that gives any of these tracks credibility are the features.
Xanarchy was therefore given the infamous not good rating, being only the 17th album Fantano had ever given the title to.
Damn, he low-key disrespected Ian, and he gave Ian the same shit of the not good. So, damn, bro.
As explained by his Reddit, not good is worse than 0.
This project is a non-starter.
Which Lil Xan understandably wasn't happy about. As when Fantano came up during a No Jumper podcast, Lil Xan was quick to offer his opinion.
10 out of 10. Needle drop?
Yeah.
Oh,
really?
Needle drop?
You don't like him?
Bro.
Oh yeah, he dissed you hard.
He then blamed Fantano for Lil Peep's
Bro, why did his friends say, yeah, he's dope?
Needle drop?
You don't like him? Oh yeah, he dissed you hard.
He then blamed Fantano for Lil Peep's death.
When it comes to rap, I think he has no say, because he gave Lil Peep like a 1.
Really?
And then 2 weeks later, Lil Peep's dead. Lil Peep's a great artist.
Telling Fantano,
I don't even want to talk about Lil Peep. I don't want to talk about Lil Peep. But to blame Fantano's review on Lil Peep's death is insane, bro. Listen, we got to call a spade a spade. The nigga was a druggie. And he got laced. And he had fentanyl in the shit. And died. So to blame that shit on Fantano is insane. That is insane. And I don't even, I'm not even it's not even that hard to try to call Lil Xan insane in this particular moment because bro, that nigga was on drugs too. Shit. You are insane, my nigga. In this moment.
Fantano to stay in
Not
his
now.
lane.
You can speak on alternative rock, all that weird Japanese you like. I know you got some weird fetishes, but please do not speak on rap.
With Post Malone also responding
He don't got no
after
say in that.
getting
I'm sorry.
a not good
Even though
rating.
Fantano way too, he
Prior
got
to
no
it
say in that.
gaining over 9 billion streams, Fantano somehow concluded that Stoney was not good.
There's just nothing special about this album, in my opinion.
With the
Okay. To say it's not good is crazy. But I kind of agree a little bit that it wasn't special. But it was good though. But I agree it wasn't special.
dislike ratio implying that the audience didn't agree. Damn, am I the only one who thinks this album is really good? Fantano then shared his review to his Twitter, where people again replied calling his rating inaccurate, with Post Malone retweeting these comments to his Twitter. He'd then replied directly, "But if you gave J. Cole a mediocre rating, then I'll take this as a compliment," to which Anthony responded, "See, every cloud has a silver lining," prompting Post to again respond, "And every Anthony Fantano has a dick tickler."
Bro, Fantano does this stupid shit to where he bro, I don't know, like it just gives off like sarcasm, bro. And that comment gave off sarcasm.
Fantano simply responded with a laughing
Look,
emoji, but it
look at
seems
him.
Post Malone eventually got the last laugh, as during his review, Anthony also foolishly stated,
I think he's really going to pan out as a one-hit wonder.
Post
Hell
Malone
no.
proves his status as a one-hit wonder. I think he might have spoke too soon there. On his very next album, Post included the line, "Your new stuff sucks, I feel like Anthony Fantano," but it was Logic who spent half of a 2-minute song
I'm gonna be honest, that's a shitty bar. That's a terrible bar. I'm sorry. It's a terrible bar. But it's funny though. It's funny. And he was mad, so I let him pass. It gets a pass on it. But that was a bad bar.
expressing how much he hated Fantano. Logic had been given 2 different scores of 1 out of 10 or lower, which he'd
God
admit
damn.
always imposed a heavy mental burden.
He would review my music ever since my mixtapes, and it would always like me up because
And they're cool now. And they're cool now. But this is the artist perspective right here. Look.
He would review my music ever since my mixtapes, and it would always like me up because he would always basically say how I wasn't like good enough.
The extent of which only being revealed when he'd put out La Donda roughly 2 years later. About halfway through the song, Logic begins an unexpected rant. "Anthony Fantano, you played shirt-wearing mother effer. I used to hate you cause you
Mother
crap on
effer.
my music. I used to fantasize about murdering you, choking you to death." He was trying to make the point that the feedback was ultimately helpful, although it wound up making Fantano very uncomfortable, who'd spend 3 minutes speechless after playing the song on stream. He'd eventually respond by stating,
I don't know if I'm cool with that, you know? I mean, it's how you feel, but it's a little weird. Like, hey, my reviews aren't that big of a deal.
See? I told you. He goes and says the most craziest shit, damn near attacks them verbally, and it says, I'm not even really that, like, you know what I'm saying? You shouldn't even take me serious type shit. I'm just a review man. Like, that's what he does.
It's how you feel, but it's a little weird. Like, hey, my reviews aren't that big of a deal. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm not here to hurt anybody.
after which Logic dressed as Anthony to review some of Anthony's reviews. Fantano and Logic's relationship is just downright confusing, but with Tyler the
Nah, they're
creator,
cool now,
it's
they're cool
much
now.
more cut and dry. Fantano was supportive of Tyler's earlier projects, so when he'd then give Cherry Bomb a pretty bad rating,
I'm feeling a strong 3 to a light 4 on this album.
Tyler wasn't super happy. He'd tweet, "Album been out for 30 hours. How can you review it? Listen to it for a while," with comments on the review agreeing. "First time I listened to it, 3 out of 10. Now after 10 listens or so, 7 out of 10. However, even after listening to it for a while, Fantano never changed his mind about the album, stating Cherry Bomb is still bad even 9 years later.
This record stinks. It still stinks. I can't stand it. I really can't. I feel like it's aged worse. It sounds worse than it did when it came out.
In the
Nah, you gotta respect him. I know niggas hate him, but you gotta respect Fantano, bro. This nigga doubled down 9 years later. Bro, you gotta respect it. At a certain point, you just gotta respect it.
process, Fantano calls Cherry Bomb
the worst record in his discography.
But with the album's poor reception came a silver lining. Tyler explained in Flower Boy A Conversation that after Cherry Bomb got terrible reviews, he knew his next album would have to be amazing, or his career was probably over. Learning from Cherry Bomb's mistakes, he'd put out Flower Boy, Igor, and Call Me If You Get Lost,
See?
which Fantano
Look at this. The nigga's averaging an 8. He's averaging an 8 right now. In his last 4 albums, Tyler, the Creator, is averaging an 8 in Anthony Fantano's eyes, and probably the rest of the world. So shit. Listen, that Fantano review was something there. It was something good. Cause going from a 3 to an 8, 9, 8, 8, got it, bro.
Gave each at least 8 out of 10 or higher, aka a rating MGK could only ever dream of. In fact, Fantano
got a 3.
reviewed 4 of MGK's projects, giving them scores of not good, 0, 1, and 3, with the not
I agree with the one with Trippy Red in him. Give it a 0.
good rating on Tickets to My Downfall, prompting an indirect response from MGK on Twitter.
I'm sorry, MGK, I agree with him.
I'm listening to Machine Gun Kelly's pop punk album. The Zoomers are gonna put this in the Rolling Stones Top 500 in 2030, to which MGK responded, and they will be right. Critics try to take jabs at all the bands your generation loved during their moment, and then understood its importance in hindsight. It's made from pure love. The universe can't deny that. Anthony, however, only continued to clown him, writing when the Queen died RIP. The Queen will never get to hear MGK say pop punk. When he and Trippy Red then announced a collab mixtape, Fantano responded with the classic Star Wars meme, pushing MGK to the point of responding directly. 2 friends from Ohio made some songs that no one is forcing you to listen to. Insufferable, I know. Trippy Red further added, who cares, dudes' reviews be trash, which likely contributed to their collab getting another bad rating.
I am feeling a 0 on this, a 0.
But for one of Young Lean's projects, Fantano bluntly refused to rate it. It was Unknown Death 2002, the review of which took a very strange turn.
My hand is bread. My hand is bread. My hands are bread.
There's bread.
My hands are bread.
After an unenthusiastic intro, Anthony spent the entire video simply eating bread, adding in the description, shoutouts carbs, yeast, enriched flour, salt, water, My Light Bakery, stating his favorite and least favorite songs were bread, rating the album bread out of 10. One comment theorized it's easy to tell that Anthony is saying he lost his mind because this album is so good and revolutionary. Also, the bread is a metaphor for how much money he thinks Young Lean is gonna make with his albums.
That's maximum level cope right there. That's maximum level cope. But it is what it is, though.
Although Fantano's lack of enthusiasm rather implied the opposite. Therefore, when Young Lean was asked, what did you think about Anthony Fantano's review of your tape Unknown Death, he'd respond by stating, don't really care. He should stop wasting his time and do something creative himself instead. It's always more giving and fun. Then there was that time Anthony beefed with Drake. With compilations like the needle drop hating Drake for 20 minutes straight, you might call Fantano one of Drizzy's biggest haters. So when he'd randomly upload a video titled Drake Slid Into My DMs, everyone was curious.
Last night, in the dead of night, I was reached out to by one of the biggest voices in the music industry.
Fantano proceeded to show what he'd been sent. Anthony, it's Drizzy. I know we don't really see eye to eye about music, and that you're not the biggest fan of most of my albums. But it is what it is, you know. But I'm not messaging you about your videos.
Wasn't this fake?
I'm actually messaging you because I found a really great vegan cookie recipe I'd love you to try.
Drake is sending me a vegan cookie recipe.
Fantano proceeds to read the ingredients while subtly mocking Drake's intelligence.
Bro, like you see, bro, this nigga is such a troll, bro. This is also a reason why niggas hate him, bro. He is a troll while reviewing people's albums terrible. Like, bro, come on, bro. Like you can't, you gotta pick a side, bro. Either just say this shit is bad or troll them. One or the other. You can't do both.
He's missing the P on applesauce. Maybe he just doesn't know how to spell applesauce. That's kind of weird.
But it turns out these messages were 100% fake, because the very next day, Drake shared he and Anthony's actual chat log, which included how he really felt about Fantano. Your existence is a light 1, and that 1 is cause you're alive, and cause you somehow wifed a black girl. I'm feeling a light to decent 1 on your existence.
Yo, one thing about Drake, bro, he gonna know the women in your life, bro. Somehow, some way, this nigga gonna find out the women in your life. I don't know how, but you got it, bro.
Fantano simply used this to clown on Drake again, maintaining this attitude till his recent Kendrick beef, to which Fantano would wear his finest suit. Meanwhile, Eminem's diss was way more subtle. In his 2014 song Calm Down, Eminem included the lines effing internet bloggers. I sit in front of my computer all day and comment on everything. I'm an expert on everything. Everything sucks, play the next song. When the lyrics were posted to Genius, they'd reference a picture of Anthony Fantano, who'd therefore upload a video titled Eminem Dissed Me.
So this Eminem man dissed me in a song. And there's me! There's a picture of me!
Now, Eminem hadn't specified who the diss was aimed at, but 8 years later in 2022, Westside Boogie implied it was Anthony.
What advice has he given you that's really stuck with you?
Me not taking blogs personal when they give me like bad ratings. Like it was this dude named Anthony Fontaine. His name like Needle Drop on YouTube. He like famous for like rating people albums.
Oh Lord.
He gave Eminem a 2. So Eminem was like, yo, he give me bad grades every time. You can't take that personal because like some people just not gonna understand it.
Eminem's clearly aware of Fantano's ratings, although doesn't follow them as closely as Ronnie Radke, who's currently suing Fantano for one of his reviews.
Damn, I gave Suicide Boys a bad review for no reason.
2023, when Fantano called Watch the World Burn one of the worst songs of the year.
This song will be in my top 10 worst songs of the year video. We don't know what the other 9 are yet, but this is one.
Offended, Ronnie took to Twitter writing, "At the Needle Drop is like the Paris Hilton of music critics. Looks 25 years older than he is, and nobody will care about him in 3 years." To which Anthony responded, over the past decade, I objectively look like I've put on fewer years than Mr. Radke, and I've had fewer trips through the legal system as well, referring to Ronnie's 2-year prison stint back in 2008. Fantano attached 4 pictures to articulate his point, to which Ronnie again replied, well, truthfully, the right picture was taken in 108-degree weather in an Arizona parking lot on stage. The other was taken 5 years later.
Anthony, I hate to break it to you, the blonde picture is me 7 years after the live photo of me. So you complimented me.
Fantano then accused Ronnie's followers of being Indian bots, prompting Ronnie to predict, we all know what happens to mostly negative critic YouTubers. Another YouTuber will make a video called What Happened to Anthony Fantano in 2 years tops.
Oh, he's talking about
Fantano
you.
would rather upload a video titled This Guy Sucks, talking about how Ronnie couldn't handle criticism, whilst mentioning the darker things the singer's been accused of.
Damn.
He's had domestic violence charges too against him, which were ultimately dismissed, true, but the fact that all of this behavior is piling up here is quite sussy-wussy.
In the process, Fantano trolled. Ronnie Radke is the most talented, moral, intelligent, and groundbreaking artist the music industry has ever seen. His catalog is utterly timeless, and I'm honored to call him my friend, lover, and husband. Thank you for all your years of laughter and companionship, Ronald, who then responded with his own tweet. Hey guys, I'm Anthony Fantano, newly divorced. After my YouTube stint, I'll be working at an elementary school, reading books to 2nd graders, whilst attaching some pretty funny pictures. This led Fantano to post another video calling Ronnie's new song terrible.
Yo.
We have a big
This nigga's over here tweeting back to Fantano over and over. Meanwhile, Fantano was dropping videos, getting bread off the nigga and calling him ass at the same time. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, that's generational out of Fantano. I'm just saying. That's generational out of Anthony. You gotta applaud it, bro. Have to.
Of cringe for you guys today, as we have a brand new Falling in Reverse track titled Ronald.
After which their beef hit a whole new level. Falling in Reverse frontman Ronnie Radke has filed a defamation lawsuit against music critic Anthony Fantano. The lawsuit centers on a video Fantano released titled This Guy Sucks, in which, if you remember, Fantano talked about some of Ronnie's accusations.
This man just said that I sexually someone. Pretty much. He's implying that I did it. 100% I had zero contact with her. I sued this woman and won because I would never do something disgusting like that, you loser. And yes, my domestic violence got dropped because that didn't happen either. Sir, this makes you liable in court. I will sue the ever-living beep out of your ass. I will take everything you have.
The lawsuit claims Fantano's video goes beyond the bounds of permissible commentary and extends well into the realm of actionable innuendo unfounded rumor mongering, and outright untruth. Why does Ronnie take everything so personally?
He
While
does.
most people just kind of ignore haters and go about their day, it seems like he takes it to such heart and lashes out. The situation hasn't yet been settled, but suing after being criticized never looks good.
Man. Nah, he is hurt by it, bro. You could tell. You could really tell. That nigga is hurt.